Hey YouTube, Mark Kaufman here, and I want to talk about the Viper Knives Key by Jesper Voxnäs. And this knife is a beautiful example of a traditional knife in a modern, up-to-date form. This is a M390 blade. We can get that focused. Boy, not really wanting to do it. There we go, M390, and you can see Voxnäs's maker's mark there. And as we go through this, you know what? That's just not doing it. There we go. There we go, M390, and you can see here the beautiful, beautiful back spine here, crowned, a little bit of jimping here. Personally, I wish it kind of flowed all the way through here so you could get a little bit of grip. It doesn't do that. You've got a wonderful half stop here. Right there. The half stop is absolutely wonderful. And then wonderful, wonderful close. It will definitely get you if you're not paying attention. So be mindful. This does have a very, very strong spring. Wonderful walk and talk. You're running on washers here. I would give this an 8 out of 10 on the pull. It's got a very good spring. You are, if I haven't mentioned already, you've got M390 steel here, purple G10. I really, really love the G10 on this. This is very well done G10, and the color here is just fantastic. I was tempted to get the titanium with Damascus, but that's a little pricey for a knife like this for me. If I was going to get something like that, I would have to have a little more of a modern folder than just a slip joint. So I thought this worked just fine. So I felt that the back end here sold the knife for me. So it's a very, very beautiful piece. Beautiful, beautiful blade design. And a very, I want to say traditional blade shape. It's a little more pointed. Definitely reminds me of these long Lagolet styled or French knives. Those blades that were very long and very, very effective at slicing and stabbing. Now, I wouldn't call this a combat knife, but I will tell you this, this is very, very close to 3 inches. So if you've got knife laws that prohibit you from having a knife that is 3 inches long, I would be very wary in getting this. Let me take a really quick measurement here. We have, let's see, blade length on this. Yeah, you're looking at, yeah, the cop wouldn't like you much. It's at 3.1 inches on this particular example of mine. We've got 3.165 inches, or in other words 80.39 millimeters almost. So yeah, that's pushing it. That's definitely pushing it. So if you were hoping this was going to be the knife you would get in those states or in Europe that would take up the pocket and still be legal, you would be definitely pushing it. Now, I would say this: you could grind that down, that tip, and just add just a little bit of a belly to it. You know, just draw that tip up, take off 5 millimeters of blade, and I think you would be just fine. So that would be a project, and that'd be a chore, especially probably something you wouldn't want to do on a knife this expensive. This example cost me, I think it was about 145, 150 bucks. And that's pricey for a slip joint for me. And I'm somebody that doesn't buy GECs. I appreciate them. I just, for me, when it comes to traditionals, I go for $50 and under, because I think the returns on your investment really don't come back, especially considering the steels they use for GECs and a few of those higher end traditionals. So this one I could justify it. We got M390, which is great steel. I have no complaints. It's held up a good edge for me. We've got wonderful construction here, and if you look here, we also have a wonderful, just all this is crowned. All the edges here are crowned. Every edge is crowned. There is not a sharp spot on this knife. It is impeccable. This it just feels so great in the hand, but that's also due to the designer. Jesper Voxnäs is a genius when it comes to designing knives. I don't know how he does it. I think it's a God-given gift. So we also have, with this, we have a wonderful sheath. Now, I don't carry it like this. I actually just throw it in my pocket, and I don't really worry about it. But this is a wonderful little sheath to slide this in. Now, I would carry this knife in this sheath if it was the titanium and Damascus model. That's a pretty dear example of this knife, and I would definitely think that would justify being in some kind of sheath one way or another, in the pocket next to the keys or anything like that. It would definitely justify being in the pocket. But I just wanted to talk about this beautiful knife from Viper, and I don't see a lot of people carrying it. I mean, I live in Texas, so we could practically carry a machete if we wanted to. So, I mean, I carry this because I love slip joints and because I really like the design of this knife. But I think it's definitely something that needs to be talked about and put in the limelight more than it is. And I think you guys really would enjoy seeing this. So that's why I'm bringing it to you and talking about it. Now, we've got a wonderful satin blade here, if you hadn't even noticed that while I was throwing it around here. And that satin is perfect. I mean, perfect. Granted, I use this more as an envelope opener and a light duty knife. I don't really abuse this one because it's so dear, but I do carry it, and you'll see that the scales here, there's no damage to it. I carry this in my with my keys, and there's no problem. I have no problem with it being scratched up or anything like that. The G10 on this is very well done, and I would expect it to be for how much you're paying for this knife. But just rambling at this point, and as some of my friends say, waffling, and I'm gonna be finished doing that. So glad you could join me on this short review. This one ran a little longer just because I really love this knife. So hope you enjoyed seeing it, and thank you so much for viewing my video.